Welcome to Waukesha North High School, where we live by excellence, equity, and expectations. And we're really excited that you're here, and we're really excited to be able to work with you and with your students. And some of the things that I'd like to talk about today is the implementation of iPads and blended learning, and then also Align by Design and how that's going to work for your student next year. First thing, we're super excited about the iPads and what we can be doing with them next year and how it's going to engage our students more, open the amount of resources that they'll have available to them on a daily basis, increase our ability to collaborate with one another, and just really make the classroom an engaging place to be. Some of the things that your students will be using include Google Documents, Gmail. They'll be collaborating through those things and sharing documents. We'll also be using Blackboard quite extensively to do things like discussion boards, to access homework assignments, to watch videos that were made by teachers. For example, something like this that might introduce different theories of evolution to your students.
Certainly by now you're used to the fact that nothing in science is really as simple as it seems. We've talked about...
And this would be a tutorial of a concept that maybe a student would get in the following day. That way, when they came to the classroom, they would have a much better idea of what to expect, and we could move on to a more hands-on engaging activity. Students could also do tutorials on their own through simulations where they can engage in those things and access so many more resources than they currently have available to them. So that is something we are very, very excited about with blended learning. Make sure that if you didn't get the opportunity to go see Dale Van Kuren's presentation on blended learning, that you do that, because it will be a wonderful thing. Also, I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Blackboard. Blackboard is an interface that all teachers and students will be using to communicate, to collaborate, and to share files. So each student would have a login. And they'll have all of their class lists here. This is something that your students should be doing almost on a daily basis, is checking their information through Blackboard, see what units have been put out, what materials have put out, what resources have been made available to them. I'm going to go to the Align by Design introduction because that's what I need to talk to you about. Let's go ahead and put this in our presentation mode. So Align by Design, and obviously talking a little bit about blended learning here as well in the sciences. Well, what is Align by Design? Well, it's using data to place students. We use 4 data points. We use our MAP scores, Explore scores, WKCE scores, and then classroom performance. And it's all skills-based. It's not content-based. We are very concerned about building the skills necessary for kids to be critical thinkers, and to work through problems and be problem solvers of today's problems and tomorrow's problems, so that they can become our next leaders. So this is all data-based, and it is going to be meant to help develop the skills that your students may be lacking. The skills that get assessed in science, and what I have up here is specific to biology, is the interpretation of data, scientific investigation, and the evaluation of models. And the way these skills get broken down into is the ACT skill bands. For science, for biology, this is going to be freshman. So we have an incoming level of a skill band 13 to 19 ACT score, a mid-level of 20 to 24 ACT score, and then an upper level or AP Prep Biology of 24 plus. And as you can see, these skills would build on top of one another. So single data sets would be a basic skill for the interpretation of data, whereas complex data sets would be a more mid-level skill, and comparing and combining simple and complex data sets would be that higher level skill. And for each of these different skills, they continue to build on one another, become more and more complex. Our goal is that if your student was entering biology, let's just say in the 13 to 19 range, by the time they left biology and were a sophomore, we'd have them in this 20 to 24 range. And that would be true for all of our skills here in Align by Design courses. So what does this look like? Well, we have our learning goals, and our learning goals are those skills that we just addressed. And we need to teach those learning goals through activities, through online assessments, through online labs and simulations. We need to assess them and give immediate feedback, which the technology will largely help us do, give immediate and direct feedback. And then we need to reassess our learning goals and reteach or teach a new concept based on these different situational factors that play into your child's education. So again, our Align by Design goals are to place students in a learning environment that will meet their individual needs. It is meant to help your students build the skills that they need the most. We want to reinforce their prior skills, but again, push them to that next skill level for the following year. And overall, as a school, we would like our ACT composite score to be 24 or higher by the time a student graduates from Waukesha North High School. And we'll continue this student learning process of identifying problems, attacking those problems, exploring them, and really being able to be critical thinkers about all of the challenges that they face on a daily basis. So that's Align by Design. That's blended learning in a nutshell. Feel free to ask any questions of any of us. We would love to talk to you about it and get you involved and get you engaged. Thank you very much. Have a great day.